I can't resist." Mark leaned closer, his voice a gravelly murmur. "Mia, I have yet to pit you even once. Not when I beheld you in that black dress at the funeral, not in those moments when your tears fell, and I long to be the one to gently wipe them away. And certainly not at this moment. Crossing that line was never my intention, yet grief compelled me to act in ways I had never imagined. To begin with, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to my incredible subscribers. Your unwavering support fuels my passion for crafting even the most passionate and deeply emotional tales. Is this the one? It holds a personal significance. It is unrefined. It revolves around the singular error I can never undo. Upon my arrival at Lisa's abode, I felt like a mere specter of my former self. My husband, Daniel, had been absent for 3 weeks, claimed by a car accident that transformed me into a widow at the age of 32. The funeral unfolded in a haze. The condolences pierced like knives. What about my vacant apartment? A confinement of recollections. When Lisa urged me to stay with her and Mark for a time, I acquiesced. Perhaps a bit too swiftly. Lisa was my elder sister, the one who embodied responsibility, the one who always seemed to have her life perfectly in order. Her home exuded warmth and coziness, a sanctuary that embraced the senses with the comforting aroma of vanilla and a profound sense of safety. Mark, her husband, possessed a certain uniqueness. I had encountered him previously naturally, during gatherings with loved ones on festive occasions. Yet, in this moment, as I beheld him within the confines of his own realm, it felt as though I was truly seeing him for the very first time. He stood tall, his broad shoulders exuding strength, and his hands seemed capable of mending anything that came their way. His smile came effortlessly, and his voice resonated with depth. As he embraced me that first night, a sensation I hadn't experienced in weeks washed over me: warmth. "Mia, your family. Stay as long as you need," he murmured softly against my hair. In that moment I found myself ensnared, bound not merely by sorrow, by an entity far more perilous. The days drifted by in a blur. Lisa departed for work, leaving Mark and me in solitude. Initially, it held a sense of purity. The aroma of coffee fills the air in the morning. Casual conversation. Yet it was then that the touches began. A gentle touch upon my shoulder as he walked past. His fingers grazed against mine as he offered me a glass of wine. Once, as I stumbled on the stairs, he reached out, his hold steady, our bodies lingering in close proximity for a heartbeat too long. "Are you all right?" His breath caressed my ear with a warm whisper. I was not. Each time his gaze met mine, I sensed it, the gradual, smoldering attraction that tethered us together. What could possibly be more disheartening? I desired it. One evening, under the influence of too much wine, we discovered ourselves on the porch, the summer air heavy with unspoken words between us. "You're beautiful, Mia," he said suddenly, his voice gravelly. Yet, as his fingers glided along my jawline, a singular thought consumed me. I need this. Only a single time. Grief drives one to abandon caution. Desire clouds your judgment. On that night I embodied both. The atmosphere surrounding Mark and me had been growing denser for days. Each fleeting look, each unintentional touch, felt akin to a gradual ignition. A sensation that begins in the depths of your gut and radiates outward, becoming impossible to overlook. Lisa retired to her chamber at an early hour, citing a headache as her reason. Mark filled our glasses once more, his fingers brushing against mine as he passed it to me. "You've endured unimaginable torment," he murmured, his tone barely above a whisper. "It is your right to experience joy once more." I ought to have understood his meaning back then. Yet, I found myself completely absorbed in the way his eyes deepened with intensity as they met mine, the way his thumb glided along the edge of his glass as if envisioning it gliding over my skin instead. We transitioned to the living room, where the fireplace's glow danced playfully, casting shifting shadows upon his features. He positioned himself nearer than necessary. Our knees brushed against each other. Neither of us could bring ourselves to retreat. "Are you truly expressing that sentiment? Or is it merely out of pity for my situation?" I inquired, a blend of jest and trepidation lacing my voice. Mark leaned closer, his voice a gravelly murmur. "Mia, I have yet to pit you even once. Not when I beheld you in that black dress at the funeral. Not in those moments when your tears fell, and I longed to be the one to dry them. And certainly not at this moment. My breath caught in my throat. This was incorrect. Utterly misguided. Yet, as his hand glided across my thigh, I found myself not resisting. "Tell me to back off," he murmured, his lips hovering perilously near my ear. "Speak and I shall respond." I did not. Instead, I angled my face toward his, our lips mere inches away from each other. His breath enveloped me, warm and rich, reminiscent of red wine intertwined with an essence deeper, more primal, a longing that stirred the air between us. In that moment, his lips met mine. It lacked tenderness. It was a moment of sheer desperation, as if he had been restraining himself for weeks and had finally reached his breaking point. His hands wove through my hair, drawing me nearer, and I surrendered to him completely. The guilt lingered, a soft murmur in the recesses of my thoughts, yet it was overwhelmed by the powerful urgency surging within me. It had been months since I felt the warmth of another's touch, hadn't experienced a sense of being desired. And what of Mark? He desired me. Poorly. His lips found their way to my neck, a teasing brush of teeth against my skin as his hand slipped beneath my shirt. "You have no idea how long I've pondered this," he growled. I ought to have distanced myself from him. One ought to have recalled that Lisa was resting just above. Yet, as his fingers grazed the delicate lace of my bra, I found myself instinctively arching into his touch. "I can't," I breathed, my fingers clumsily working at the buttons of his shirt. "We already are," he replied, drawing me onto his lap. In that moment, the path forward was irrevocably set. The heart is a deceitful entity. It drew me directly into the flames, despite my inner voice urging me to flee. The days following that initial kiss drifted by in a blur of clandestine encounters. Lisa moved energetically through the house, unaware of the tension that now simmered between her husband and me. Each glance, each fleeting touch shared between Mark and me held a deeper significance, a silent dialogue known only to us. I reassured myself that it was merely the weight of grief. The emptiness within me stirred a longing for warmth, any semblance of warmth. Yet, as Mark's hand brushed against the small of my back while we navigated the hallway, or when I felt his gaze upon me, filled with a dark, insatiable hunger, I understood that it transcended mere friendship. On a rainy Thursday, everything reached a boiling point. With Lisa gone for her overnight nursing shift, the rhythmic patter of rain against the windows enveloped us in a cocoon of solitude. We lingered in the living room, the distance between us on the couch a paradox of both excess and insufficiency. "We should discuss what transpired," I began, my wedding ring twisting around my finger. Mark placed his drink aside and faced me completely. "What message do you wish to convey? It is beyond our capability. What is it that you can't do?" Leaned in, his knee grazing against mine. Refuses to acknowledge the presence of something significant here? Are you unable to recognize that you share this feeling as well? His words coursed through me like a chilling breeze. Indeed, he was correct, I could sense it. The allure, the bond, the exquisite, exhilarating rush of being desired once more. As his hand gently cradled my cheek, I found myself rooted in place, unwilling to retreat. As he leaned in, I found myself moving to meet him in the middle. This kiss was not akin to the initial, hesitant one. It was profound, filled with an urgent longing, as if we were both striving to submerge ourselves within one another. His hand wove through my hair while mine clenched his shirt, drawing him nearer until his heartbeat resonated against my chest. We separated, gasping for air. I urged him to halt, my voice barely a breath, yet my body betrayed me, leaning closer to his warmth. "Would you care to?" His thumb glided over my bottom lip. My hesitation lingered far too long. That was the only response he required. With a seamless grace he rose, drawing me up alongside him. Our lips collided once more as he guided me toward the hallway, his hands exploring my body with a fierce possessiveness that should have filled me with fear, yet only ignited a deeper fire within me. A distant corner of my mind cried out in protest, insisting that this was a grave mistake, that we were betraying Lisa in the most unforgivable manner. Yet the more resounding section, the one that had endured a chill and solitude for an eternity, murmured even more. As my back pressed against the wall outside the guest bedroom, Mark's lips departed from mine, journeying down the curve of my neck. "Tell me you don't want this," he murmured softly against my skin. I parted my lips, ready to utter the words that would halt this before it spiraled beyond control. Instead, I inhaled sharply as his hand settled on my waist, and all that escaped my lips was his name. Certain decisions linger in the shadows of your mind, echoing through time. On that particular evening, I crafted my own. The door to the guest room clicked softly behind us, locking away our destiny. Moonlight seeped through the curtains, draping silver lines over Mark's face as he gazed down at me with a fervor that took my breath away. His fingers glided along the strap of my tank top, each movement deliberate, allowing me to sense the delicate threads parting beneath his caress. "We ought to," my voice faltered as his other hand encircled my waist. "What should be done?" His lips grazed my earlobe. "Cease? Contemplate? Let's act as if this isn't the most vibrant either of us has experienced in ages." The reality of his words pierced through my final barriers. As his lips met mine once more, I surrendered to the moment. The bed collided with the backs of my knees as we fell backward, a chaotic mix of eager hands and hushed secrets. Then came the creak of the front door. We stood still. Lisa's voice resonated. Mark? Mia? I seemed to have misplaced my. The bedroom door creaked open, revealing the secrets within. Time came to a standstill. My sister lingered in the doorway, a shadowy figure, her overnight bag cascading from her grasp. The anguish in her gaze pierced more profoundly than the sharpest blade. "Lisa, I find myself compelled to share." Mark stepped ahead. "Refrain." She retreated, her voice trembling. "Simply refrain from doing that." The front door slammed shut, reverberating through the house with the sharpness of a gunshot. 3 months have passed. Today, the divorce papers arrived in the mail. Lisa's signature had already graced the document, clear and resolute, in stark contrast to the trembling script of my apology letter that she had sent back unopened. I clutched the envelope tightly against my chest, my gaze fixed on the vacant house that Mark abandoned when he departed for Chicago. The chasm that separates us has grown far beyond mere distance. Some fires blaze with such intensity that they reduce everything to mere ashes. Certain mistakes linger not merely as shadows, but embed themselves deep within your very essence, establishing a residence that feels inescapable. Half a year has passed. The voicemail from Lisa echoed for the third time, her voice sharp and strange to my ears. "My mother is currently in the hospital. It may not be of great consequence, yet she is inquiring about you. Chamber 412. I gazed into the diner's grimy window, noting the shadows beneath my eyes and the cracked state of my lips, remnants of words I would never have the chance to utter. The coffee before me had turned cold. Mark had sent a message once, 2 weeks after his departure. I confessed to her that it was entirely my fault. She may never find it in her heart to forgive me, yet perhaps she will extend that grace to you. He was mistaken. St. Mary's Hospital. The elevator doors slid open, revealing the soft rhythmic beep of machines in the stillness. The door to room 412 stood slightly open. Lisa perched beside our mother's bed. Her blonde hair gathered into a disheveled bun, her scrubs creased and worn. Upon my entrance, she remained focused on her task, not lifting her gaze. Mother extended her hand toward me, quivering slightly. "Mia, my dear." I stifled a sob as I grasped her fingers. With a sharp sound, Lisa pushed her chair away from the table. "I'll get coffee," she murmured, gliding past me, her gaze averted. The door clicked into place, sealing off the world beyond. With a heavy sigh, Mom exhaled her thoughts. She is not prepared. I am aware. Are you? Her piercing stare held me captive, coexisting with it. The truth gnawed at my throat, haunting my dreams each night. Her gaze upon me was captivating. The echo of the door crashing shut, the expression on Mark's face when the realization of our actions dawned upon him. Mother grasped my hand tightly. "Excellent," I recoiled. "You should feel it," she murmured gently. "That is the essence of your humanity." Lisa lingered beside her car, her arms folded tightly against the chill of the autumn breeze. I compelled my feet to move in her direction. "I apologize, it's lodged in my throat, too diminutive, too tardy." I extended the envelope instead. "Your divorce papers," she stated with an unyielding tone. "I affixed my signature to them weeks ago." "Negative." I swallowed hard. "The title to the lakeside retreat now belongs to you." Her breath caught in her throat. It was something we had come to possess together following Dad's passing. "I can't accept that," she whispered. "It is within your capability." The wind whisked my next words into the ether. Yet she caught them, for I had already taken more than enough. After what felt like an eternity, she finally turned her gaze towards me. Truly observed. Her eyes mirrored the same hazel as mine. Yet while mine were clouded with regret, hers blazed with a far more troubling emotion, pity. "Do you love him?" she inquired. The truth emerged. I cherished the absence of solitude. With a deliberate nod, she reached for the envelope. "I shall pay a visit to mother on the morrow. Today is the day you should go." Not forgiveness, yet a thread. On that particular night, the dream returned, Lisa's visage framed in the doorway, while Mark's hands grew cold against my skin. This time I stirred from my slumber just before the door crashed shut. The silence of my vacant apartment reverberated through the air. As I lifted the lid of my laptop, my fingers danced across the keyboard, eager to bring thoughts to life. "My dearest Lisa, I sincerely apologize, my dear sister.